Okay. So for this episode, I guess we're in my realm of the television sphere, which was the 90s. So I'm all here for that. You were born in 1995. That hardly counts. Shh. It still counts. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. Today, we are talking about episode 6 of WandaVision. This is not going to be a review. I just want to talk about the episode, and with talking about the episode comes spoilers. This is your official spoiler warning. If you care about the show and do not want it spoiled for you, then please leave, watch it, and come back, because there will be spoilers. You have been warned, so now let's go. Can we just please start with talking about how perfect they got the 90s for this? This episode just straight up felt like it was pulled right out of Malcolm in the Middle. It was insane. Malcolm in the Middle premiered in 2000. What? You're right. Did they skip a decade? Because the last one was the 80s. So what happened to the 90s? Granted, they're on a time crunch right now because they're on a very limited number of episodes left. So I get why they had to progressively get to current day, I guess. And what were they going to do for the 90s? Friends? Seinfeld? And the 2000s was its own realm of existence. So I guess I can see why they would just skip to the 2000s. But still, right from the get-go, just the opening credits where they... Be no way of knowing who's coming by to play. I think I can speak for everybody when I say that my biggest wonder going into this episode was what are they going to be doing with Pietro? Because that was such a huge, just jaw-dropping thing that they ended the last episode with. And he's just the cool, fun uncle in this. And here, Evan Peters did what Evan Peters does, and he's just a lot of fun to watch. He's definitely a different type of character than he was in the X-Men movies. In this, he's 100% playing, that cool, fun uncle that just wants to have a good time, which I guess was his thing in the X-Men, but in the X-Men, he was a kid. And in this, he's supposed to be like that adult who thinks he's a kid. So it's still definitely a different type of character. And he's way different than Aaron Taylor Johnson's Quicksilver Pietro was. So there is that. He's 100% a different character than the Quicksilver that we saw in this universe already. But through the whole thing, Wanda's testing him, and it's clear that either Pietro now is remembering things differently than how they actually happened, or Wanda actually doesn't remember everything that she thought she does. Pietro keeps saying lines that make it clear he's fully aware of what it is that Wanda is doing, and he's just there for his sister. He doesn't care what she's doing as long as she is happy, which definitely is a brotherly thing. He's just there to make sure that she's okay. Screw all of these other people. Is Wanda okay? And I'm not sure yet if that makes me really like his character, that he cares that much about his sister, or if I'm cautious of him because he doesn't care about all of these people. I want to, since the last big reveal that, Monica's in charge of everything, I don't know why I keep saying Monica when I try to say Wanda. It happened several times, and I cut most of them out of the video because I catch myself when I say them. But I didn't catch it this time. I meant Wanda. Since I didn't call that in any of my videos, I'm going to go ahead and call something right now. Pietro is a complete fabrication of Wanda. I do not believe that Evan Peters is going to continue as Quicksilver in the MCU. Evan Peters' Pietro is going to end when WandaVision ends, or at least if this arc continues further, his Pietro will end whenever this ends. And I was talking to a friend of mine right after watching the episode, and he said, well, if that's the case, why would she change the way he looked? And I think she might have done that subconsciously as a way to better cope with seeing him, because she even says in this episode that she doesn't know how she did what she's doing to the people of Westview. So it's entirely possible that she didn't even mean to change the way he looks. But even still, having changed the way he looks, she still can't get over the fact that she saw him die. Because we get another shot like the one we got of Vision being dead, and we get one of Pietro now, and it startled me just the same. I think the two biggest things to take away from this episode actually aren't even Pietro, it's Vision. I was right again, thank you. Vision is not going to be able to survive out of Westview. He can't. Westview is the only place that he's going to be able to be alive, because he tried to get out and he's just falling apart and dying. The only way that he was able to get brought back is when Wanda just extended her field that she has over Westview, and who knows how big she's gonna make that.
We're dead! We're dead! We'll survive, but we're dead!
And let's not forget that we get confirmation in this episode that Monica's molecular structure has changed because of going through the hex. And now, just like I said she would do, Wanda is flipping out even more and spreading her force field thing across God knows how far, exposing who knows how many people, and that is how we are going to get the X-Men. I called it before, and I'm making it final now.
She just took up all of the sword people there, and she took up Darcy. Darcy's in there now too. And the second biggest thing is they have been teasing this person that Monica knows for a couple of episodes now. She said that she knows this, I don't remember what exact type of scientist she said, but she knows this super smart scientist, and now in this episode, they are going to meet him. I think they're going to go meet Reed Richards. They are going to go meet Reed Richards and maybe even Sue Storm, and that is how we're going to get introduced to the Fantastic Four. And they're gone. They don't even know that this happened with Wanda and everybody. So when they come back, they're going to have to try to figure out how to fix this on their own. So that's my biggest takeaways from this episode. This didn't have any huge jaw-dropping things like the last one did with Evan Peters, except for when Vision is talking to Agnes and he like zaps her back to be able to communicate with him, and she says, "You're dead. Am I dead? Because you're dead." So he now knows that for some reason he should be dead. And I also want to go ahead and say this. I see a lot of theories on Facebook, on TikTok, on Twitter, on whatever, of people theorizing that Agnes is actually, I think the character's name is Agatha, who is a witch, and they're pointing to the fact that Agnes knows all of this stuff that's happening, she's well aware of it, and she dressed up as a witch for this episode since it was Halloween. Loved these costumes on Wanda and Vision, by the way. That was just well played. And they also think that Mephisto is going to show up. I don't think. First of all, Agatha we see now that Agnes, whenever she's zapped back, no, Agnes in her whatever her real name is, Agnes is very much confused and going a little bit crazy because of that laughter she started doing, but I don't think she might have been as big of a potential player as even I initially thought. She might be. She still might be, but I don't think it's going to be this Agatha character because, first, a witch. I mean, sure, we have Scarlet Witch, but nobody calls her that, and she's not an actual witch. This Agatha character is a, pointy hat and boiling cauldron type of witch. I don't think they're going to do that. And Mephisto, it would be cool if we got Mephisto, but Mephisto is Satan. Okay? Mephisto is basically the literal devil. And I don't think that they're going to drop that in this show. It would be cool if we got Mephisto because we haven't seen Mephisto since, I think, Ghost Rider. If they're going to premiere the literal devil in the MCU, I don't think it's going to be in WandaVision. Oh! How could I forget? Basically, everybody in Westview, if Wanda is not around, they just stop. They just freeze. And they either freeze or they just do basically repetitive menial tasks. So the town only pretty much continues to move if it is in the current view of Wanda. It's almost like the Truman Show in that way. Well, if we're going to compare it to the Truman Show, then maybe no. Well, if it's something like that, then it might be the devil. I don't know, man. Okay, this show just keeps throwing stuff at us, and it's hard to speculate at this point because they just keep coming. But that's really all I have to say about this episode. So what did you think about it? Who do you think Monica and Jimmy are gonna go meet? Who do you think this scientist is? Do you think Pietro is gonna be a now full character in the MCU? Whatever you think, let me know all of that down below in the comments. Go ahead and check out my social media. The links to all of that will be down in the description. But before you do anything, go ahead and hit the like and the subscribe so that I can see you guys next time.